So remember that one really important element for us to look at is the word count. And again, we don't want to simply think of this as you have to write 250 words. We want to think of this as you have 250 words or slightly more to really demonstrate to the examiner your high level of English. So when we take a look at the question itself, it's going to look like this. And the difference, there might be a slight difference in the question itself. In this case, it's do you agree or disagree? Well, it might be some other type of question. We'll take a look at those ones in the later videos. But do you agree or disagree is really the most common question type in the exam. All right, so you can see that it very clearly says you have to write 250 words. Remember, you lose points if you do not have those 250 words. However, there are a lot of other elements that we need to look at to make sure we obtain the highest score possible. Now, we're going to see the word count in the next slide here, but remember when we take a look at your performance in task 2 and we compare it to the grid that the examiners use, as we saw in one of the first slides there, well, something that you need to do is present a clear position in this one. We saw that there is a slight difference in the criteria used to score task 2 versus what's used to score task 1. Now, you certainly need to present a clear position all the way through the essay. So we're going to dig into this a little bit more in the next few slides here. But you can see that this example certainly does that. Okay, we need to complete the task. There has to be a clear progression and organization. Your paragraphing has to be absolutely perfect. Your cohesive devices need to be used correctly. And of course, your position needs to be fully developed. So we're going to talk about the strategy that this person used in making this essay. And you're going to be able to use that same strategy. What we're doing with this strategy is making sure that you do all of these elements that we've been discussing here. So you are going to definitely be able to present a clear position all the way through the response, fully developed position as well. In terms of completing the task, well, we're going to see that that certainly relates to the question itself and making sure that we strategize perfectly to be able to answer the question. Okay, the clear progression and organization, that definitely deals with the response that we're strategizing for, and of course the strategies that we're going to implement. Paragraphing, we saw in the previous, when we talked about your task 1, we had a strategy for your paragraphing so that this is never an issue. We have a very similar strategy for task 2 to again make sure that there aren't any issues in paragraphing. And cohesive devices. So in the strategy that we're using here, we're actually going to give you quite a few of the cohesive devices you're going to use in this response.